Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Residents happy for new system to ease water crisis. Water woes that have plagued Watermount and Pedro communities in western central St. Catherine for years are expected to be resolved soon, with Phase 1 of the project to pump water into the area on schedule to be completed by March, said Omar Francis, Councillor Caretaker for the Watermount Division. Meanwhile, Phase 2, which will take water to the communities of Back Pasture, Kuja Hill, Burke Hill, and other works, is slated to begin shortly after, with the overall completion of the project expected by June. The initiative was undertaken by Member of Parliament Dr. Christopher Tufton in collaboration with the Rural Water Supply Limited, RWSL, which committed $150 million to the initiative. However, RWSL's Managing Director, Ardley Thompson, reported on Monday that the work is projected to go over budget because of the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on resources availability and material prices. In 2020, work began on implementing an effective water system, which was lacking in some areas. A pumping system to gather water from the Williams Gully Dam has also been installed near Watermount Square. The commodity, which has the potential to impact over 7,000 households, will be pumped into two 20,000-gallon concrete tanks hosted by project workers. One is located in the Old Works area and the other in Pedro, where the water will be gravity-fed into the Watermount neighborhood. A 30,000-gallon concrete tank with a 10,000-gallon reserve was also installed in the community to help residents overcome water shortages during drought periods. The previous system only served a limited portion of the area, said Thompson. Francis explained that this was a necessary step to take, as when you have the water coming straight to the system and go straight to the homes, it doesn't help at all, because it means, therefore, that once water goes down, it goes down all the time. Despite the fact that the water system has not yet been fully constructed to flow into the residents' pipes, Hyacinth Campbell, a member of the community for over 15 years, is pleased to see these much-needed improvements being made. She informed reporters that she has been living in the community for many years with low water pressures, having to go days without the commodity during lock-off. But now there is a change. We are happy for it, she said. Watermount Primary School Principal Carlin Thompson lamented that in the past, the water issue had a significant impact on the school. Some days, the institution had to close for half a day as there was no water. She added that on other days, she would have to ask some of the boys in the neighborhood to transport water from other locations onto the compound. To address the irregular water supply, the school had to bear the cost of purchasing 9 water tanks that have alleviated the issue to some degree. There were days when parents would call and say, "Miss, I can't send the child to school because the uniform is not clean, I don't have any water," or the child might be missing out on lessons because, "Miss, I had to go to the river this morning to get water," said Thompson. Although the water may not be one of the first beneficiaries of the water improvement project, said Thompson, she is confident that it will help parents to send the children to school. "If we can reach them, we can teach them. If they are here, we can teach them. But when they're at home and they don't have water, or the parent can't pick up the chicken to sell, all the issues become connected," she said, as the lack of water affects the farming community's livelihood. "But I see where the water project is going to improve the lives of the community members," she added. Total foolishness. St. Thomas residents fed up with the way road work being executed. Stakeholders in St. Thomas are at their wits' end with what they describe as the inefficient way in which the works on the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project, SCHIP, is being executed. Among those who have raised concerns are taxi operators, business owners, and personnel of the Parish Municipal Corporation, who said they have been grappling with extensive delays due to unusual traffic built up in the parish and the lack of regard being shown by the construction workers. "I did level 2 construction at heart, and after you work, you're supposed to do housekeeping, clean up. If they had proper supervision, they wouldn't be doing the foolishness that they are doing on the road," Louis Millwood, president of the St. Thomas Taxi Association, said, as he bemoaned the reason behind much of the delays. Millwood argued that taxi operators have been incurring significant expenses since the start of the project some 2 years ago, with the frequent need to repair car parts damaged by the worsening roadway. It's unfair. Who is going to compensate them for all of these mishaps? It is very hard for them right now because every week gas price raise and this road infrastructure that they are driving on right now is ridiculous. We are happy for the road improvement in the parish, but not in the manner in which it is being done. It's total foolishness, he reported. Equally annoyed is Morant Bay Councillor Ron Bryan, who, while expressing gratitude for the improvement of St. Thomas Major Thoroughfare, pointed to the need for more safety signs as the construction continues. According to him, there is no proper signage to guide motorists, so them work crew dig a hole, same way them just bank it on the road, accidents waiting to happen. They don't care or respect the people of St. Thomas. I'm starting to wonder if the contractors know anything about road work because what we're getting is garbage. Brian also complained that the flagmen and tractor operators were not coordinating well enough to ease the flow of traffic. The two of them telling you to go at the same time, and then that caused more traffic jam. The people with the equipment just cross the road with the machine at any time, and you have to just wait on them because the traffic flows again. It bothers me a lot, he said. According to the concerns raised by the stakeholders, National Works Agency CEO E.G. Hunter pleaded for patience during major projects such as SCHIP, sections of which are slated for completion later this year. We have the duty to ensure that the project is implemented in the most efficient way and at least discomfort to the public. However, coexistence is something that is important. The project has to be done and people want to go about their business, so there has to be give and take on both sides, he said. Sharing that the agency is doing all it can to improve the experience, Hunter noted that there is also to be expected a reasonable level of discomfort associated with the implementation of such projects. He reported that the necessary signs would be installed in short order. Mobay residents reject NEPA's assurances about crocodile. Residents and a worker in Montego Bay Freeport and Bow communities are strongly disputing the National Environment and Planning Agency's NEPA assurances that there is no need to fear a crocodile, which was recently spotted near Bogue's Wedge Pond, as they dread potential up-close encounters with the reptile. According to an anonymous source, persons who are employed there run the risk of an unpleasant meeting with a crocodile if they happen to come across it in the tall grass surrounding the ponds. We no feel comfortable, so we work in our area while animal is there. We don't know what might happen if him attack we, the source reported. One of the times, me see him over by a tree where the fence is. Him lie down and me don't know if him belly full or him did asleep, so me I wonder if him dead or him alive. But when me look, me see him start move him foot. The next day, him the crocodile move come into one of the pond, and him move from that pond to a next pond. I don't see him from Friday, January 21, but him still the boat, the source added. It's dangerous for the men who are on the ground. You don't know if he's in the grass, and that might go towards him. 2 weeks ago, a video emerged on social media which showed the huge crocodile slipping into one of the sewage ponds near the National Water Commission's NWC offices in Bogue. Another source with intimate knowledge of the area reported seeing the crocodile hunting for fish in the pond, although such activity would be environmentally detrimental. It looked like he must search for fish and eat them out. The fish in the pond is to eat the bacteria and clean the pond, so those fish are not to be eaten, the second source noted. Despite those concerns, however, NWC Public Relations Officer Andrew Cannon insisted, when contacted by reporters, that residents and persons who work near the sewage ponds have no need to be worried. He noted that NEPA would have done sensitization training for dealing with the crocodile following this month's recent sighting. They, the workers, would know, based on their training, to take the precautionary measures, and it is something that they would be aware of, said Cannon. My understanding is that based on the link and correspondence with NEPA, a lot of public education would have taken place to sensitize not only the workers but the community as to how to deal with these things. It is not strange, based on what I'm picking up, to have crocodiles in that particular area and other areas, added Cannon. Those who are in the vicinity of the ponds are not the only ones who are concerned about the presence of reptile, as a Fairview resident, Faye Thompson, recalled previous sites in her community, including one that was reported last year. Any human being with sense should be concerned, because I have heard of instances where taximen have been driving on the road and have seen crocodiles trying to cross from one side of the road to the other. The report about the one that was circulating last year, that crocodile was sighted in the lagoon area near Fairview, Thomas explained. If the relevant authorities are aware that this dropping up last year, they should not put it under the bed. They should have it on the front page and ensure they are on top of things, and it should not be ignored. I would hate to know that somebody is swimming in the area, especially in the lagoon or fishery sanitary, or even if somebody is in a boat coming along and when you look you see a crocodile, Thomas added. Crocodiles are a protected species under Jamaica's Wildlife Protection Act. Under Section 6 of the Act, it is forbidden to hunt reptiles. Section 20 says that any person found guilty of any offense covered under the Act, including the hunting of protected species, may be fined up to $100,000 or spend 12 months in prison. NEPA has been conducting a population survey of crocodiles in their natural habitat, which also includes Salt Marsh in Trelawney and most sections of Jamaica's south coast. According to the organization, one recurrent problem it has to wrestle with its practice of hunting crocodiles for their meat when it turns threatening the safety of the crocodile population. It should be noted that while crocodiles are often stigmatized as aggressive, there have only been 4 recorded fatal attacks by crocodiles in Jamaica since 1847. Regarding the most recent crocodile sighting, while advising caution if the reptile is spotted again, NEPA indicated that the risk of encountering the animal should be low. UWI's Chancellor is not under investigation, says campus registrar. Registrar of the University of the West Indies, Dr. Maurice Smith, is denying media reports that Vice-Chancellor Hilary Beckles is investigating the ceremonial head of the regional institution, Chancellor Robert Bermudez. Dr. Smith was questioned yesterday afternoon by members of Parliament's Human Resources and Social Development Committee amid concern over reports of a rift between the Vice-Chancellor and Chancellor. Dr. Smith admitted that there was a divergence of opinions regarding a damning 2020 government report into the UWI.
Opposition MP Dr. Maurice Guy questioned Dr. Smith as to whether there was a conflict between Beckles and Bermudez regarding the findings of the 2020 report. He specifically noted that aspects of the report commissioned by Chancellor Bermudez seem to have recommended limiting the powers of the Vice-Chancellor.
It came home or came out as seemingly, Registrar, that there is a loggerhead between the Chancellor and the Vice-Chancellor, and that there was almost like two different camps, seemingly at odds with each other where the university is concerned.
However, the UWI registrar said he could not say whether there's a rift between the two. He admitted that there were differing opinions over the findings of the report.
I am not able to confirm, indicate, deny whether or not there is dissonance between the two leaders of the university. What I will say, Chair, members, is that this is a complex organization. It has been around for 7 decades, and like the constitution of any country, we review our constitutional framework to ensure that the institution is agile and that is efficient. There are divergent as well as there are diverse views with respect to the findings, the methodology. Council is still deliberating, and in fact, a decision will be made in the next couple of weeks when Council meets, as it concerns the recommendations that are before us.
At an annual meeting on April 30 last year, the university's council approved the renewal of Beckles' contract despite objections from Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. A recent media report also suggested an investigation was launched into Chancellor Bermudez by Vice-Chancellor Beckles through a committee that reports to his office. Dr. Smith says while he would not impute the motive of journalists who put out their version of events, he specifically denied allegations that the Chancellor was under investigation. However, he admitted that a commission was set up by Vice-Chancellor Beckles to probe the processes of his appointment.
The Vice Chancellor did in fact establish a committee to look at the processes that were enacted as it concerns his appointment. He had in fact shared that information with the Council when it met in July 2021, and it is my expectation that the Council will look at that. It is not correct. It's not the outcome that was before the committee, Chancellor. It's whether or not the processes, the established processes were observed.
UWI Council is in the process of reviewing the over 90 recommendations put forward in the report commissioned by the Chancellor.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.